Welcome to Near Falls with D. Hall. He's talking on bars and how they win it all. Yeah, it's just Near Falls with D. Hall. The final takedown, the glory or the fall. So loosen up, step on in, wrestle with the need to win. Talking Near Falls with D. Hall. Ready or not, he's here to brawl. Welcome to the Near Falls WPIAL show, where Dhall and Kaz are gonna tell you all the things you wanna know. Whether it's Trinity or Spencer Lee or Mr. Kurt Angle, just ask Vinny D, WPIAL, Ken and Mac for sure. They got the interviews to soothe your soul, because it's Near Falls in the WPIAL.
What's going on, wrestling fans? We are back for another edition of Near Falls in the WPIAL. It's your boy Dhall, back with the return of Marky Kaz. How are you, sir?
What's up, brother? A little cold outside, but we're making it work.
Mid-season form, as they say. Cold as shit outside. It is starting to heat up in the gyms, though, man. Really, really good stuff to talk about this week. We got a special guest coming on for you guys, Matt Taylor. He's going to talk about the change that he's got going on. Really excited for him and for that. And of course, he's going to break down Burgettstown with us, and he's going to break down the Midwinter Mayhem tournament, which, Marky, we've been to a few times. I was able to sneak out there as well. Just a great tournament out there at IUP at the Kovalchuk Center. But yeah, man, great weekend.
Yeah, it was. I know you were multiple places, but there was I don't want to say the best weekend of wrestling, but the most action, I would say. There were big tournaments all over the place. Some good duels last night. So yeah, Friday and Saturday were fun days for the wrestling in Pennsylvania for sure.
Yeah, man, I definitely had a heck of a day on Saturday. I started off. I slept over with Marky and Troy up at Midwinter, and then watched them in the morning. Snuck out to you guys. I was mapped it to Greensburg Stadium. It was 40 minutes. I was like, all right, well, catch the semis. Walked in right as I believe it was pin 99 for Luke Willishow. It would have been the semis. So walked in right as that was going on, and then picked my little dude up and watched the finals at Burgettstown. It was like the perfect day. But yeah, man, so much to talk about, and it's really excited to get into it. So. And again, thank you to our sponsors, Quest School of Wrestling in 84 PA. We appreciate the love and support over there. The man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Jim Akerley. I appreciate you sponsoring and supporting the show. D1 Wrestling Club down in Jefferson Hills, Pennsylvania. Thank you, Mr. Fleming, for sponsoring and supporting the show. If you haven't checked them out, go to d1wrestlingclub.com. Appreciate you guys. And the last sponsor we have, of course, is Smitty's Carpet Corner. If you don't have a Smitty's Corner in your facility on your mats, what are you doing? Smitty's Carpet Corner classes up your events while protecting your investment at the same time. It's a no-brainer. Go out and get yourself a set for your tournament, for your school, for your club, whatever the case may be. Smitty'sCarpetCorners.com. Love and appreciate you. And the final sponsor, as always, the main man, Mr. Chris Cars over at Swiss Custom Apparel. Thank you so much for all your love and support over the years. Wouldn't be where I am without you. Thank you, and more t-shirts are coming soon. Kaz, let's dive into week 5. Man, what do you think? Wes Moko started out there?
Yeah, start out there.
I know you were out there. I walked in, I saw you were behind the microphone for Flick over at their West Moco Sports Network. First things first, I got to give my flowers to the boys out there. Love what you guys do. Shaw, Smitty, George, you guys are awesome, man. And just keep doing the good vibes, good stuff out there. Just to be able to watch these matches back is just it's good things in general. But man, I don't know. Do you want to just start right at 107?
Yeah, we'll start at 107. Again, this was a great tournament. I was there all weekend. So 107 in the finals. We're going to run down finals, or are you going to go top
You
six?
could do, I would say just run down top six, because there's some like deeper weights than others, but everyone gets a little bit of love.
So at 107, your champ was Bo Fennick from Franklin Regional, real tough freshman. Won by tech fall over Rocco DiCario of Derry. So a little AA, AAA matchup there. Third place was Kai Maxwell out of Latrobe. He beat Luca Batera from Norwin. And then fifth was Paxton Newell out of Kiski. He beat Riley Doppelhauer of Bell Vernon, 8-0 for fifth and sixth. Westmoreland County only places six in this tournament. Usually the brackets are about 20, usually 20-ish guys in there, so they place top six. But the Fennick kid from Franklin, the freshman, I mean, I don't know if I know you walked in late in the semis, but that kid is really good, man. I know he's wrestled Gretz from Connellsville this year and took a loss to him, but this Fennick's going to be in the mix come postseason. I have to believe that.
Yeah, he's real deal good, and one of those tough freshmen that have come in for Coach Levy over there with the Franklin Regional Panthers, and it just seems like, oh my goodness, they lose Juliana Marion and they lose Smith down low, or not Smith,
Kapusta.
I always get them mixed up. Kapusta down low, Tyler Kapusta, and it's like, what's going to happen? And then they reload with these young kids, and he's definitely one of them. And he's impressive. I watched him at the junior high District 7. I believe he wrestled Johnson in the finals from West A, and I think it was overtime. Just tough, stays good position, scrappy, knows how to move. So he's going to be a problem for sure, and a guy that, like we've talked about, I think 107 might be one of the deeper classes, man. There's some really good kids, and there's a lot of them.
There is. AAA 107 is really good. Like I said, Johnson, Fennick, Gretz, Jones from Shaler. Like there's some really good kids in there.
Yep, for sure. All right, let's move it on.
114, your champ was Dylan Barrett of Penn Trafford. He had a major decision win over Colton Klippa of Norwin in the finals. Another Franklin kid, Titus Colangelo of Franklin, took third. He beat Gavin Murphy of Kiski, taking fourth. And then fifth was Brody Bronson of Latrobe, beat Andrew Poland of Greensburg Salem, and he took sixth. So this was a heavy AAA weight class here. 5 of the 6 were AAA guys in that weight class. But again, I call him Squirrel. Barrett looked great all tournament. 114 is a great weight class for him. Kind of was the class of this weight class, and put that on the display. 16-3 in the finals.
Seems to be settling in really, really nicely there at 114. Coming down, I know that he maybe not have had the best, performance at Powerade that he wanted, but he's definitely putting it together, and it's good to see it there for him. All right, 121. I got it, Kaz.
Got it.
Leo Joseph takes home the championship via fall in the first period over Luke DeSantis. Nate Gulabon from Norwin takes third. Nathan Carluccio from Hempfield takes fourth. Sal Nassif from Franklin Regional takes fifth. And Dylan Bateman from Derry takes sixth. Luke DeSantis from Penn Trafford, I apologize. But again, another one of those weight classes where you kind of had a guy at the class. He was the class of the weight. It seems like here, and Leo Joseph just going fall, and getting the championship.
Yeah, I don't. He didn't leave the first period. looked absolutely phenomenal all tournament long. Going to the Naval Academy, spoke with him after, learned that, so credit to him for that. But he was great all tournament. DeSantis looked really good. He had a really fun semis match with Gulabon from Norwin. DeSantis is another one you got to look out for. That kid's really good. But again, Joseph just a little too much to handle right now.
Yeah, he's definitely rounding into form, and one of those guys we talk about all the time. Just seems like he's been in the Latrobe program for a long time.
I know, it feels like it's been years.
Absolutely. All right, 127 pounds. We see Anthony Mucci continue his hot run for Derry. He gets the championship over Cam Baker. Mikey Ruane from Franklin Regional takes third. Ty King from Hempfield takes fourth. John DeLuca from Kiski takes fifth. And Micah McGeary from Southmoreland takes sixth. In this weight, I really wanted to see what Cam Baker would do with Anthony Mucci and vice versa if they got to each other in the finals. When I saw the brackets released, Mucci, man, he's on some type of run right now.
Yeah, he is. He's looked great all year, coming up a couple weight classes, as is Baker. So I was very excited to see that matchup. I feel like they've wrestled like 5 times in high school already. I don't know if they wrestled last year, though. But that was anticipated, I think, from a lot of people to see those two in the finals. Ruane gave Mucci a really good match in the semis.
Yep. 5-3, right?
5-3, 7-5, something like that. It was a very, very good match. One of the better matches of the semis. But Mucci comes on top. It continues his hot start. But then Ruane, like you said, Ruane for third and fourth. Pin Ty King. Ruane's really good. A big 127 pounder, but in that weight class, the Ruane Mucci semifinal was awesome.
No doubt. All right, 133, Kaz.
133, Luke Willichell, winner by fall in 459. Not only was it his 4th county title, he got his 100th pin, not win, pin of his career. And that's a goal that he set as a freshman. He's been talking about it. That's a crazy, crazy stat. 90% of the kids in high school don't get 100 wins, and he has 100 pins.
I wonder who has the most pins of all time. Like, could he track in deep? I mean, we got how much of the season left? You know what I mean? Like,
he's probably going to get 20 more.
That's what I'm saying. At least 15, you would think.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting watch, interesting statistical watch. I know some of those guys. I know Stats Wanderley, he was out there at Greensburg Salem. I'm sure he knows that stat right now. But yeah, he's impressive, man, and just continues to just dominate. And it's going to be interesting to see what he does out there at Wyoming.
He has 146 wins in his career. 100 of them are by pin. That's crazy. Like, those are made up numbers. Like, that's incredible.
Video game stuff, no doubt.
But to round that weight out, he pinned Chase Smith of Franklin Regional. Smith was out early in the year with injuries. Came back last week. He looks good there. Jake Stewart of Burrell took third over Jackson Pollock out of Kiski. And then 5th and 6th, Dom Batera out of Norwin defeats Logan Ventura of Penn Trafford 5-4. But obviously the highlight of this weight, Willichell joins an elite category, 4 Westmoreland County titles, does it in wild fashion with pinfall for his 100th. So credit to him. Congratulations to you, Willichell.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, 139 pounds. Julian Berticci of Burrow takes home the championship in a slim 1-0 decision over Day Dawn Soto of Bell Vernon. Nico Sarnich from Franklin Regional takes third. Nate Klingen-Smith from Norwood takes fourth. Brett Klim from Derry takes fifth. Austin Lydecker from Latrobe takes sixth. Your Burrow Buck gets on the top of the podium here, Kaz.
Yeah, that was a really good 1-0 match. That was almost like a clash of styles. Almost
Yep.
Bertucci's long and lanky. Soto's shorter, more compact, a thicker 139-pound kid. But it was a great match. Soto was very active on his feet in the beginning of the match, pretty much the whole match. And Bertucci got to his offense late, but then the difference was the third period. Bertucci rode him out for the whole third period for the 1-0. But it was a really good match. The Soto kid, first time I've seen him, he's from Connecticut, was a Connecticut state champ. So it's the first time I got to see him wrestle. And the kid's really good. He's going to throw a wrench in this 139-pound weight class in the WPIAL and in the state tournament. I watching him, he'll be at the state tournament. I can confidently say that. He's pretty good. He's good. Yeah,
that's an early call, but I love that.
The kid's good. So, like I said, Bertucci and him had a really good 1-0 match. So credit to both of those guys.
All right. Well, highlight Mr. Soto's name, says Kaz. All right. 145 pounds, Max Firestein takes home the championship over Gage Mamie of Norwin, Max Firestein of Franklin Regional. Sydney Hand of Penn Trafford takes third. Tristan, go ahead, Kaz.
Torkowitz, W silent.
Thank you. Torkowitz, I would have never got that one. Cohen Bucione of Franklin Regional takes fifth, and Caden Crawford of Burrell takes home sixth. Firestein, the other of those two freshmen that we were talking about, Kaz, he's really, really good. We saw him, at least I saw him at Powerade. They wrestled, or he wrestled, rather, in the blood round. Who was it for Bethel Park? Higgins,
yeah.
And it was a dog fight.
I remember watching. That was a hell of a match. Higgins ended up winning, and I want to say it was sudden victory.
Yes, yeah, it was. So I think he's going to be just fine. One of those guys, one of those Franklin Regional freshmen that just trust in the process out there, and I'm sure he'll be right there whenever the time comes. All right, where are we at, Kaz? You want to go?
152. Mason Horwat of Derry wins his second county title in 2 years. He defeated Cole Doppelhauer of Bell Vernon 13-2. Luke Ankeny of Franklin Regional takes third. Callie Zanella of Burrell took fourth. And then fifth and sixth, you had Dylan Clayton of Penn Trafford fifth, and Antonio Perkins of Valley takes sixth. Again, the Perkins from Valley is only a freshman. Kid's really good. We've seen Clayton. Ankeny and Zanella wrestled twice in this tournament, went 1-1. Both were really good matches. Fun to watch. And then the finals, Horwat put on a show, man. 13-2, just takedown after takedown after takedown. The kid's phenomenal. He ran through this bracket and
good genes.
He put on a show here. I didn't expect. I thought the him and Doppelhauer match would be a little closer. Doppelhauer and Zanella was a really close match in the semis. I want to say Doppelhauer and Horwat wrestled last year because Bell Vernon was in AA last year. Now they're up in AAA. But yeah, Horwat looks really good, as expected.
No, I agree. Yeah, he's one of those guys for Derry that seems to be on a mission, much like Mr. Mucci. All right, 160 pounds. We see Ian Olson of Derry take home a county championship over Jack White of Norwin. Ethan Cartwright of Franklin Regional takes third. Travis Shear of Kiski takes fourth. Ben Catullo of Burrow takes fifth. And Stephen Virginia, is that right, guys?
Perdina.
Man, am I bad with names sometimes. Takes home sixth. But you look at this, Wade, another Derry boy on top, this time out of the 4 seed, though.
Yeah. Olson was the 4 seed heading into this bracket. His semis match with, I believe he had Cartwright in the semis, was a really good match. And then in the finals, he put on quite the display against Jack White. Jack White had looked phenomenal in his quarters and semis match leading up to that. I was really excited to see that match. And Olson looked looked great in that weight class. I know he was up at 172 earlier in the year, but looks really good down at 160. And, there he goes back to back in those two weights.
172 pounds. Mario Hutcherson gets a major decision over Isaac Lisinski in a rematch from the Powerade tournament. Logan Maastricht of Penn Trafford takes fourth. Landon Delara of Southmoreland takes fourth. Logan Maastricht takes third. Landon Delara takes fourth. Braden Bronson from Latrobe takes fifth. And Jordan Perks from Franklin Regional takes sixth. Mario Hutcherson just continues to prove he's one of the best freshmen in the country here, Kaz. But Isaac Lisinski still had a fantastic county tournament. He is still putting together a great senior year, and I expect him to do big things, not only on the WPIAL scene, but the regional and state scene as well.
Yeah, that was the second time we got to watch those two wrestle. And obviously they're very familiar with each other. Burl and Kiski are a driver and 6-iron away from each other. Not your 6-iron, my 6-iron. Yours would be about a 9-iron. So yeah, it was nice to see that there was some depth in that weight. Excuse me. But Hutcherson has put himself in a position to where he could be the next, I shouldn't say the next 4-timer, but could be a 4-timer because we have some other people. And it's really hard for me to think that somebody in Westmoreland County is going to beat him the next 3 years because, he's on the world team this summer. The kid's as elite as it gets. And he's becoming a household name. And he did it against a Lisinski kid who's going to Gardner-Webb, who's a really good wrestler. So credit to Mario, credit to Isaac for that match. And then with the third and fourth place match, I believe, the Maastricht Dallaire third and fourth place match was a really good match. We stopped commentating at that point, but I had watched that, and those two were firing off shots left and right. That was one of the more exciting consolation bouts in the tournament with Maastricht and Dallaire.
All right, Kaz, you want to do 189?
Yep, 189.
Best weight of the tournament.
Yeah, by far. So the 1 seed Hunter Snyder defaulted out. I shouldn't say defaulted out. He didn't even weigh in. So even with eliminating him, it was still the best weight by far. Brady Brown of Derry beat Mark Gray of Kiski in the finals 9-4. Which was a match that I was really excited for because a month ago, Mark Gray had teched Brady Brown at Powerade. And Brown gets the rematch, and Brown looked absolutely phenomenal, and Gray had looked great leading up to it.
That's incredible flip script there for
It is. And you could tell Brady was very strategic and had planned out how he was going to wrestle that match because Gray is tough to wrestle. He's 6'4". He's
long boy.
He'll
get you in them cradles.
Yeah,
Quick,
he's
dude.
so good on top.
Yes,
he can shoot from 5 feet away and get his hands on you because he's just so long. So Brown, wrestled a smart match and wrestled a great match. So credit to him for that. We're not going to get to see round 3 just because AA and AAA and Gray's going to graduate, but that would be a match I'd love to watch because they're both awesome and both wrestle different styles, but fun styles. Then at 189, Abe Taylor at Kiski, who, mind you, is Kiski's backup. He's not a backup. He was in the finals here last year. It's just weights move around. He took third. He beat Henry Patz of Franklin 4-2 in 2 tiebreakers. And then Jake Mundorf for Ligonier Valley won by forfeit over Tasso Whipple, who took 6th.
Imagine having that problem for Kiski. They got so many big dudes out there. Like, I know there's some schools that would kill for some of those big guys, and they got guys like Abe Taylor. That is certainly he's right there as one of the better guys in the WPIAL, and if things break the right way, we could definitely see him right there in a blood round match or something. But yeah, it's just a testament to what Kiski has and what they got up top.
And it doesn't end there because we're going to get a 215.
Yep.
And they're back up at 215 who just can't break the lineup because Roskowski's there. took 5th. So Kiski had 2 non-scoring wrestlers place at 189, 215, and I want to say their backup heavyweight was a match away from placing. It's a good problem to have, but they're just going to replace because they graduate. The seniors, the heavyweight's going to graduate, and the 89 is going to graduate, so they're right in there. But at 215, Elijah Brown of Bell Vernon beat Cooper Roskowski 4-0. To me, this was maybe the highlight match. Both are ranked top 3 in the state. That was a clash of styles there. It was similar to the Gray and Brown. You know, you got a tall, lanky wrestler. You have a shorter, compact wrestler, different styles. It was fun to watch. Caden Shannon of Southmoreland defeated Luke Boylan of Burrell for 3rd and 4th. And then, like I said, for 5th and 6th, Luke Geltz of Kiski pinned Ben Grabowski of Penn Trafford, who ended up taking 6th.
All right, 285. Ryder Ekis of Kiski takes home the championship over Marco Scarton of Latrobe via fall in the finals, 224. Aiden Kuhn of Burroughs takes home 3rd. David Peters of Greensburg-Salem takes 4th. Elijah Doherty of Franklin Regional takes home 5th. And David Sager of Southmoreland takes home 6th. Ekis and Scarton, both guys that we've seen make deep runs in some early season tournaments. And here they kind of culminated and met each other. But yeah, great match. Ekis seems to be rounding in the form at the right time.
Yeah, he is. He looks really good all tournament long. The only fall in the finals got the pinfall to end the or not the only fall. I forgot how Wilchel's obviously. Only fall of the upper weights. Looked really good. Like you said, he's coming into form, very well. The one thing I will point out, Scarton and Sager wrestled in the semis, and it was an awesome match. Sager was winning most of the match, and Scarton put him on his back late in the match and got 7 points out of it. It was a fun heavyweight match. It took about 25 minutes because Sager was bleeding like crazy. Then Scarton was on blood time. It took forever, but that was a fun match. So that was the Westmoreland County. And just to recap the team race, Franklin Regional did win the team race here, 247.5 points. Kiski took 2nd with 210.5. Burrell took 3rd with 181.5. Derry took 4th, 179.5. And Norwin in 5th with 162.
Just continued impressive stuff for Franklin Regional there, a team that we expect to make a deep run in the WPIAL playoffs, and they certainly expect to make a deep run in the state playoffs for sure, and we expect that as well. So yeah, man, great Westmoreland County tournament there. Before we dive into Burgettstown and bring in our special guest for the show, let's give another shout out and thanks to the sponsors. Again, Quest School of Wrestling, Mr. Jim Akerley, head coach over there. Thank you so much for sponsoring the show. QuestSchoolOfWrestling.com. Go check them out, guys. He has practices at multiple times throughout the week, multiple days during the week. And, the names that have come out of that program speak for themselves. Top-notch facility there. I really enjoy my time every time I go there. Again, that's Quest School of Wrestling. Thank you guys so much for your sponsorship. Next one on the dock, we have the D1 Wrestling Club down in Jefferson Hills, Pennsylvania. Thank you so much for your sponsorship, James Fleming and the D1 Wrestling Club. We love what you guys are doing. You are bringing some super hammers coming out of that club, and it's just impressive stuff. If you guys want to check that out, if you're in down the, 51 there, Kaz, down 51, past the old, the Parkway Center Mall? No,
yeah,
Century 3 Mall.
Century 3 Mall.
Yes, Century 3 Mall. Go down there and check them out. Great club down there, and he's starting to really build stuff. So very, very appreciative of your sponsorship there. And last but not least, the third sponsorship of the show, we have Smitty's Carpet Corners. Thank you so much for sponsoring the show. If you don't have Smitty's Carpet Corner for your mats, for your events, for your district, for your club. What are you doing? Check them out, smitty'scarpetcorners.com. Get a set for your event, for your school, whatever. It's very, very good investment for your investment. Thank you. All right. Let's get into Burgettstown and bring on Mr. Matt Taylor. What's going on, man?
How you guys doing?
What's going on? Back at it.
All right, Matt. First things first, brother. Talk to me about the rebrand. Really excited about that for you.
Yeah. I decided. I think I talked to you a couple weeks ago about it. Decided that just to focus on Pennsylvania wrestling. It's been a passion of mine over the last 4 years since I started covering the sport. There's a lot of terms. There's a lot of things that I can just dive into, and I think that Pennsylvania high school wrestling, it's best in the country. You know, you can't go to another state and say that New Jersey's better, Ohio's better. That could be controversial, but I don't think so. So I wanted to focus a lot on Pennsylvania high school wrestling, bringing more awareness to the sport, and just giving it the coverage that it deserves, because with all the top-notch wrestlers we have, where you look at some of these weights, we have maybe 10, 15 guys go Division I. I think it deserves better coverage, and hopefully I can bring that.
Love it.
Couldn't have said it any better.
Yes. All right. Well, let's dive into Burgettstown. I mean, this is a tournament. It seems to be growing more and more. Kaz, you got to make your way out here one year. This is a highlight circle next year. I know either if it's on counties or whatever the case may be, dude. They got brisket. They got pulled pork. They got mac and cheese. They got rigatoni. They got anything you want in that coach's room, dude. I'm telling you, it's like a cookout, man. And you know, it's the first thing. So I walk in and Joey Vigil, he's like, "Did you get your food? Go back in the coach's room." He's like walking me back. I'm like, "All right, let's go." So yeah, man, those guys, they're first class, and it's a great tournament. And the wrestling was fantastic. You know, just look at right here, 107, one of the best guys in the country, and Chase Karenbauer wins the championship.
Yeah, the Vigliotis have heard them. I think on Twitter they put out. I want to say it was a couple of years ago. They tweeted a picture of like the coach's room, or like find a better coach's room than this, and it was like a 5-star buffet going on.
I'm telling you, it's a spread. It really is. They get after it.
But yeah, Karenbauer, Grove City, man. That kid's something special. I mean, we saw him at Powerade wrestling, you know, the Little Bassett.
Powerade champ, man.
Kid's absolutely incredible. And wrestled a tough kid in Bennett Ferraro, you know, in the finals, a name that we're pretty familiar with out at Pine Ridge when his two older brothers wrestled there. Well, Dom is still there. But yeah, Karenbauer kid, man, he's on a different level.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on him, Matt? Have you seen much of him before coming into this year?
Saw the name. I think he was out at Fargo. Plays very high at Fargo. Not exactly sure on what the placement was. Yeah. So coming in the year, he was either 1 or 2 with Bassett consensus. He was highly ranked nationally, highly ranked in the state, and then I thought the big matchup was either going to be that Bassett, Tommy Gretz, whoever won that match in the quarters at Powerade was going to get Karenbauer, and I couldn't believe how well he handled Bassett throughout that entire match. And I think it got a little close near the end, but there was never a doubt watching the match that Karenbauer was going to win it. He goes on, he wins Powerade. So kid's lights out. And for, you know, I looked at this weight and a little bit earlier in the round of 16, he faced Brandon McClure, who I thought at any other point in this bracket, if he was placed, could have gotten past the round of 16. To run into that buzzsaw, there's nothing you can do.
No.
Yeah, agreed. Bennett Ferraro takes second. Angelo Bonney takes third. Michael Piera of North Catholic takes fifth. Warren Orgolowski from Elizabeth Ford takes fifth. And Braden Hanning from Jeff Morgan takes sixth. But yeah, definitely highlight here is Karenbauer, but Bennett Ferraro, here in the WPIAL, and Angelo Bonnie, two guys that we certainly need to highlight there, Cass.
Yeah, Ferraro, only a freshman. They said his older brother's wrestled at Pine Ridge, and he's another name to throw in that 107
Up in
mix.
Edinburgh, right?
Yeah. And again, we were talking about AAA 107 in the WPIAL. That's another name you got to go in there. And then Boney, same thing. Older brothers wrestle Central Valley, both really good. So they're going to hear a lot, about those two moving forward for sure.
I believe the older Bonnie is at Mount Union, and they adore him there. So good stuff. All right, let's move on to 114 pounds. Bruce Anderchuk gets the championship over Ian Stearns of Grove City. Derek Allen of Elwood City takes third. Victor Wagner of North Catholic takes fourth. Brady Rohali of North Hills takes fifth, and David Miller of Sharpsville takes sixth. Anderchuk, man, a guy for Quaker Valley that's, I believe he just got his 100th win last night.
Yeah.
Just doing really good stuff there for the Quaker Valley.
Yeah, gets his 100th last night, wins another tournament. I feel like he's won every tournament he's been in this year. It feels like, and we'll get to see him at Allegheny Counties this weekend. But yeah, Anderchuk does his thing. The Wagner kid from North Catholic who took fourth.
Interesting as hell.
Yeah, I saw him at Southmoreland. He won the Southmoreland tournament. The kid's really good.
Yep.
I know he had a decent year last year, won a lot of matches, but looks light years better than what he is. He's going to be a lot to handle in AA.
Yeah, and that's a guy that Coach Lyons has, talked to me about. That's really seemed like he's improving rapidly and quickly, like you said. Matt, where do you have Bruce Anderchuk slotted and filed in the state rankings?
I have him right now at 11th, and I haven't updated him in a couple weeks. Hopefully next week I get him updated. It's just 114 is loaded. It is absolutely loaded. I think Freddie Bachman's moving out of the weight, so that moves him up a spot. But it's like Easton Mall had a great tournament at Mid-Mid Wareham. He didn't win, and then at Power 80 he had even better tournament. Sam Wolford, who popped on the scene last week as well, is going to have to face Eli Herring at some point. Blake Clip I saw last night in a duel against Montoursville. That kid looks lights out. And guy that many people don't know about, CJ Kane's from Hanover area. If Anderchuk, if he gets bracketed properly, which you know how the state works with their bracketing, but I think he can make some movement, get into that top 8, and maybe place top 6.
Like it. All right. Kaz, you want to do 121?
Yeah, so 121, your champ was Jonathan Emma of Mount Lebanon. He pinned Ben Fuller of Meadville in 233. Austin Kazanovich of Avonworth, a major decision over Noah Collins of West Green for 3rd and 4th. And then 5th and 6th, you had Caden Shelter of Maplewood, won by forfeit over Logan Milligan of North Hills. Any idea where Maplewood is? It's not Pennsylvania. I think it's West Virginia. Is Maplewood Pennsylvania?
It's right on that line, I thought. Hold on.
Check it out on PA.
Oh, I think that's
it's Pennsylvania, all right. I've never heard of Maplewood High School.
I think it's in the WPIAL, bud.
Maplewood? No, that's Mapletown.
Oh, yeah.
But they don't have wrestling anymore.
Hold on.
Maplewood. I've never heard of Maplewood. That's interesting.
Crawford County. So that's up north.
Where in the hell is Crawford County? My geography's bad. Sorry,
Guys,
my high school geography.
District 10.
Teacher.
Yeah, it's up north by Erie. That's up by my camp. That's up.
Let's take a trip.
West, buddy. That's up west of Meadville. It's a beautiful area up there. Yeah, it's kind of out by Edinburgh and that.
Sorry to all the Maplewood contingent out there.
Hey, geography lessons are always good lessons, guys.
Yeah.
Hey, he took the trip down, placed highly. 17th is his team. Did pretty well.
For sure. Jonathan Emma, a guy that I know Mount Lebo has high hopes for, and it's good. He wrestled really good here last year, too. Man, gets on top of the podium. I really think that he has a good chance to do big things at Whitfields this year.
Yeah, I do too. I believe he made the state tournament last year. Did he not? I'm almost positive he did. But he's been doing really well, all year. No, he took 5th in the region last year.
I was going to say, I thought he was a blood round.
Yeah, he was a match away, but only a sophomore.
Yeah,
he's 27 and he's 15-3 this year.
Yep.
Another kid, we'll get to see at Allegheny Counties tomorrow and Saturday.
Oh yeah, very good.
We're at 127. Another Boney. Antonio, your champ at 27. Just to throw this out, not to interrupt, 127 in AA in the Whitfields. I almost said a word I shouldn't have. Freaking bonkers. Moochie, Baker, and Boney all in that weight.
Yeah.
That's just disgusting. They're all Whitfield champs. Nah, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, if you would put them in any other year, all 3 of those guys qualify as Whitfield champs for AA, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's
they're all super really Hamilton's no slouch, and he torched him in the final.
Yeah,
Hamilton's really good.
Yeah, which is really impressive.
Yeah.
And then Burgestown gets a guy on the podium, Daniel Smith over Michael McLearen of Sharpsville. I know where Sharpsville's at. And 127, Noah Patton, freshman out of Washington. His older brother Caleb's pretty good. Remember Coach Klein telling us about them a couple of years ago, Donnie?
Yep.
He pinned Sean Murphy of North Hills 4th, 5th, and 6th. But again, Boney, man, you guys said it. Hamilton's no joke. And he dismantled him 13-3. Shit.
I mean, Hamilton had a great match over Danny Smith in the semis. He tech balled him, and you think, all right, that was one of the matches I wanted to go and see. I'm like, see what Boney has against this Hamilton kid, because we're going to talk about Hamilton's older brother here in a minute, but both those boys from Grove City are tough, you know what I mean? So
AA too.
Yeah, exactly. Both top AA guys. They're going to see them at regionals, right?
No, Grove City's in the North region.
Oh, they're in the North.
They're Northwest, yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking of AAA got matched up with the with the North. Okay.
State tournament, because
Right.
Yeah, it'll hit in the state tournament.
For sure. All right. 133 moving up. Drake McClure gets the championship. 4-0 over Mason Wright of Best Center. Logan Conley of Char Valley takes 3rd. Caleb Anderson of Meadville, Kaz, you know where that's at, takes 4th. Carter Cactus of Burgestown takes 5th. And Jeremy Wagner of Keystone Oaks takes 6th.
You know where Keystone Oaks is?
No, never been there.
Right next to the best pizza place in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. We're gonna have it's not. It's not Hampton where Eddie lives.
Oh, that's right. Second best.
No, Meadville's where they make channel locks. Little known fact. I don't know if you know what a channel lock is. Channel locks are the great brand of tool. That's where Meadville factory is. Or channel lock factory is in Meadville. But yeah. Great weight here. McClure continues to do what he came into high school doing, really tough on top and just dominant throughout. Gets on top, rides him out, gets a takedown, just smothers him. And, that's been his MO and just continues that.
Yeah, he burst on the scene big time last year, and he's continued to do that so far this year. As a sophomore, he's an issue for everybody he wrestles.
Long, lanky, tough on top. Bad combination for opponents.
I think in this tournament, Mason Wright, his stock's going up.
Yeah, for sure.
Because even with a 4-0 loss to McClure, I think McClure's top 5 guy in the state. So to wrestle in that tough and only give up a takedown in the second period, I think he did really well in that match.
And you were there for the finals, right? How was that match?
It was good, man. It was like I said, got on top, rode him out the whole second period, but they went neutral, and it was a dogfight the third period. I mean, he just tried like hell to get in on his legs, and it just wasn't successful. You know what I mean? But he definitely was not going back underneath. So, because they got second period. Let me see. Second period, McClure went bottom, got an escape, and then a takedown quickly. I'm not sure how quick, but quickly, and then got the takedown. And then rode him out. And then Mason Wright was like, I'm not Doom with none of that underneath, and then just went neutral. Couldn't get the takedown in the third, and ended up being 4-0. But I mean, fantastic match, tough, and like you said, Matt, stock going up if you had to have an error or price change there.
Yeah, if you want to take a positive out of a loss, I guess that's the way you would look at it there.
Yeah, for sure. So we're at 139. Another Ferraro, Dominic Ferraro, major decision over Matt Dana of Quaker Valley in the finals. Ethan Springer of Sharpsville beat Paul Seminaro of North Hills 5-1. And then for 5th and 6th, Alex Formiani of Armstrong won by forfeit over Austin Mrock of Chartiers Houston.
Ferrari's been really impressive this year, man. He really has. Just been putting up a lot of points, been dominating dudes. And I wanted to see what this match would look like, giving Matt Dana the 1 seed, and Ferraro kind of put it on him. Matt Dana didn't have much for him. It was a really impressive performance, and he's a guy for sure that, as we get down towards the end of the year, I'm going to be putting my flag probably on him. I love the way he wrestles, dude. Just goes the whole time, doesn't get tired. So yeah, big Dom Ferraro fan.
Ferraro Vilma, love to see. They're going to battle.
Yeah,
those two are going to battle in the postseason. It's going to be great to see.
Yeah, it will be.
They are. That'll be a fun match to watch.
All right,
we get it back-to-back weeks, shouldn't we?
Yeah, well, that's how it is. Yeah, because you're going to have.
Yeah, they'll probably
be in the same section.
Oh, they have districts now. Yeah, they have districts now.
It could be 4 weekends in a row.
Are they in Pine Richland and Carnival? Not in the same section, but
so it'll be 2 weekends in a row because they have districts and then regionals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think we'll see that more than once, which I'm fine with.
Me too. All right, 145. Hudson Homan of Grove City takes home the championship over Jonathan Bissell of Sharpsville. Liam Hine of Mars takes third. Jacoby Thompson from Meadville takes fourth. Max Fermani of Armstrong takes fifth. And Ryder Go of Southside takes sixth. Hudson Homan and Bissell final here. Homan was the class of the weight, though, just kind of dominated throughout. Tech fall in the semis, Tech fall in the finals, fall in the quarterfinals, fall in his opening round, just dominant the whole way.
Kid gets better and better every year.
Yeah.
I remember watching him as a freshman. How good he was. He came down and wrestled on my Stand Your Ground card.
Yep, remember that.
Wrestled twice in the tournament, or in the event. Kid looks phenomenal. He had battled at Powerade, a name that you're going to see on the podium at the state tournament.
Absolutely.
Where's he at in your rankings, Matt?
I got him at 3. He's flirting with 2 or 3. I can't put him above Bo Bassett, but
right.
He's second class at that weight, definitely.
Tier 2, love that.
Yeah.
All right, where are we at? 152, Kaz?
Yeah, his teammate Cody Hamilton of Grove City beat Lucas Boyer, who's a very tough sophomore out of Elizabeth Forward, 7-2. Third and fourth, Sam Jacobs of Armstrong beat Derek Worstel of Upper St. Clair in sudden victory. And then Ryder Say of Meadville beat Caleb Patton of Wash High 7-1.
Hamilton, I'm big Hamilton guy. I picked him last year in a couple different spots. I love the way he wrestled. Throws the kitchen sink out, yeah. He fell just short. I believe he lost to Petrovich in the blood round at Powerade. But he's a guy that, I expect to see on the podium at States. For the third and fourth place match, the Sam Jacobs Derek Worstel match, that was really tight. 3-4. I will say, literally 10 seconds left. Worstel gets a technical violation, and then he gets taken down in overtime. Man, it was a dog fight, man. It was one of those matches you're going back and forth, and oh my goodness, he made that call. It was pretty wild. So definitely one of the highlight matches on the backside.
The 160. This match looked by the score like it was entertaining, and just
Oh my goodness, dude.
knowing how both of these kids wrestle, it doesn't surprise me. What, Gabe Lilly 12-11 over Owen Ivchik in the finals. Two WPIAL kids we're going to see. Cole Gibbons Alibo defeat Logan Noyes at Burgestown 4-1 in sudden victory. And then Austin DiMartino, North Hills, majored Jesus Chavez of Shark Houston. How fun was that finals match?
So I pulled it up because I had to remember, because like all the scoring, it was wild. It just kept going back and forth. So Ivsik started, and I have to say his name right, and I got corrected, and I feel so bad because he's a stud. But Owen Ivsik, who is a monster, started with takedown. Lily escaped, and then Lily got a takedown, so that makes it 4-1 to end the first. Ivsik goes down, gets a reversal. Lily escapes. Ivsik gets a takedown. Injury time period ends. Escape Gilbilly after going bottom. Takedown for Ivsik. Stall warning. Reversal for Gilbilly into the near fall. 12-11. So he hit a reversal and near fall at the end. And it's like, he's done that twice, dude. He did that last week. I forget who the hell he was wrestling. But it was the same situation. He got a pin, though. It was, I looked at the box score, it was 11-11. And I went back and watched the match and got a pin. Gabe, he's going to Clarion, dude. And he's a guy that I've been impressed with this year, man. That
he's 20-2.
That is he's sneaky. That is, you know who runs that up there is Fleming's brother.
Yeah.
John Fleming.
Rook Smith. He pinned Rook Smith in 554.
That's what it was. Yes, that's what it was.
What that was
at Max.
January. I was gonna say January 4th. That's Max, right?
Yeah, it was at Max. That's where I saw it. Yeah. So literally,
was he losing at that point in the match against Smith?
No. So that made it. They had that box wrong. He was tied. Then got the reversal. They never gave him the points before he got the pin.
Okay.
So he got the pin without giving him the points. So he would have got, was it 2 and then 4 back points? So it would have been either 6 or 4 more. But either way, he's wrestling fantastic this year, and I got that's and really good on top. And it's been coming into his own the last couple of years. A gladiator kid, works out a lot with Islamov from Baldwin. So I watch them two scrap all the time in the room, and they're nails. So
I'm just really hoping that reversal and near fall was a Peterson move. That would have been great. I saw that last night, and I see it a lot in elementary. When I saw it last night in the Bishop McDevitt Montoursville duel last night, I was so excited.
You always love to see those junior high and elementary school positions in like high level situations. All right, 172. Cash Morelli of Cochraton takes home first over Caleb Kinsley of Armstrong. Michael Lawrence of Chartiers Valley takes home third. Carter Morvay of North Hills takes home fourth. Mac Miller of Pine Richland takes home fifth. Marcus Ritchie of Quaker Valley takes home sixth. For the WPIAL here, Kinsley, Lawrence, Morvay, Miller, Ritchie, all these guys I feel like are going to be fringe, blood round of 16 guys at the regional tournaments or WPIAL tournaments. All really good guys, and just a testament to kind of the level that Burgettstown's getting to. It's really becoming a solid tournament. Yeah,
Kinsey of Armstrong getting to the finals. Armstrong had themselves a pretty good tournament. Very good. Second in the team race. They're going to be, a tough team to watch out for once the teams in AAA come out. I think they're kind of more under the radar than anything. Cash Morrell, don't know, much about him. It's a first time I've heard that name, being outside of the WPIAL. Was it Lawrence Morvay? That's another name that kind of came onto the scene. He had a win over Mac Miller in this tournament. That's surprised. I mean, no disrespect, but it kind of surprised me because Morvay was somebody who wasn't really on my radar. And, we know what Mac Miller is. Mac Miller's really good.
I have Morrell ranked 8th in the state in AA.
AA.
He's going to rise after that Mac Miller win. 100%.
Yeah, you got to. It's impressive.
So he beat Miller in the semis.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. What was that score?
5-0.
Wow.
Yep.
Near fall at the end, like 2 seconds left.
Miller dropped down and lost.
Probably desperation.
14-9 to Morvay. And then, took fifth. Okay. 189.
This was another, I believe all 6 were WPIL guys who placed here, yeah.
506.
5 and 6.
Yep.
Dominic Willis of Laurel pinned Tay Bradshaw of Armstrong in the finals. Malachi Peak of Best Center 1-0 over Wyatt Markovich out of South Park. And then Slayton Williams of Southside beat Ian McCreary of Grove City 11-4. Just looking back through stuff, Peak, Markovich, I was going through just some, not ranking stuff, but like head-to-heads, and Willis, Markovich, Peak, and there's like a couple other kids. They've all wrestled each other. Like they have like a combined like 10 matches against each other throughout the year, and they're all beating each other back and forth here. And it just shows how close they all are with Peak, 1-0 over Markovich. But Wills, man, he's kind of the one guy who's beaten all of them and kind of separated himself from the pack. Not as the number one guy in the WPIL right now, but maybe in that next tier after like a Braden Welsh and a Brady Brown, that, he might be that guy.
I love that. All right. Yeah. 215.
215.
This is one of the interesting weights for me. Colton Carlson of Laurel, kind of a breakout performance for him. Comes out and gets the championship over Brennan Briesinger, the talented freshman for Quaker Valley. Justin Beck for Avonworth takes third. Braden Suter from Carleton takes fourth. Lucian Williams of Southside takes fifth. And Adam Beloga of Burgettstown takes sixth. But Carlson, man, I don't even know where the hell he was seated, but looks like
a 4 seed.
Comes out, beats Suter, and then beats Briesinger. Just a great weekend for him.
Yeah, it surprised me. Suter was the 1 seed, I believe.
I think he won it last year. That's why.
Because Carlson beat Suter like a week ago. Didn't he beat him at Max?
Maybe.
Somewhere. I believe Carlson has a win over Suter already this year.
I'm looking
Could
it
be
up.
wrong here. Well, no, because they wouldn't have. Laurel's at Max, but he's 23-1 this year, Carlson.
I'm looking.
His only losses to Teague Calvin at Greenville, 12-9, and Calvin's top? What would you have? Top 6 or 7 in the state?
I have number 3 right now.
Number 3,
he did beat Suter. He did beat Suter last week or it would have been Max 2-1.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like I said,
everybody.
I think he beat Max, or he beat him 2 times. Last 2 times.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's impressive.
He only lost 12-9 to the Calvin kid. Wow.
He's good, man. He's one of those guys like Matt said. He's a riser.
And then the big boys, Colin White of West Green, your champ, 4-1 over Casey Wilson of Laurel. Man, Laurel got some upper weights, man.
Yes, they do.
In the finals, the top 3. Philip Rearick of Armstrong pinned Parker Cunningham of South Park. Parker Cunningham, one of the freaking best offensive linemen in the state of Pennsylvania. Holy shit. And then Henry Barbish of Carleton pinned Landon Heath of Jefferson Morgan. I just got to say that. Parker Cunningham of South Park, just an absolute road grader on the football field. He was one of the Freilich finalists. I don't remember who won the Freilich Award in the WPIAL, but he was the AA representative for the Freilich. Just an ass-kicking fool. I'm not sure where he's going to play football at. For some reason, James Madison's in my head, but I don't know if that's correct. And he can wrestle too. Just a big son of a bitch, and he's mean. You'd love him.
I know. I love it. I mean, we'll talk about the other Freilich nominee. What wasn't Turka one of those guys too?
Yeah, Turk was the 5A representative.
Yeah. So I guess that's probably the best way to flip over to Midwinter Mayhem. But before we do that, again, let's give a little thanks to our sponsors, Quest School of Wrestling, Jim Akerley. Thank you so much for your sponsorship and support over the years. I really, really appreciate it. D1 Wrestling Club down in Jefferson Hills, Pennsylvania. Check them out on d1wrestlingclub.com. And, of course, Smitty's Carpet Corners. Protect your investment with an investment. Go get you some Smitty's Carpet Corners today. And last but not least, of course, we have Chris Cars over at Switch Custom Apparel. I've been with him for years, helping me out, doing all the T-shirt designs, the logos, all the things. Again, thank you so much, Chris Cars over at Switch Custom Apparel. All right, guys.
I was just wearing my Stand Your Ground shirt today that he made for my event a couple of years ago.
He's great, the man.
Yep, awesome material. Did a great job.
Quick thing before we move on Colin White. He had a great Powerade tournament. He beat Caleb Rodriguez, tight match with Shepard Turk, and then beat Ben Lloyd. So I have him ranked number 5 in the state. I think his stock's going to keep rising. I think he's a player in the 2-way 285-pound finals.
He's a guy that's just slowly gotten better, right, Kaz? I mean,
he was at 215 last year, and when I saw him at Powerade, he
looks big,
real big.
He would be a good guy for some of these dudes to get, like some of these colleges. Like,
yeah.
I mean, he probably is getting a lot of calls now that he placed at Powerade, but still, man, like, yeah, he's a big dude and like has a great frame on him.
And then to follow it up the next week and win Tricata, you know.
Yeah.
Yep.
He looks like he's all 285. I know he's not, but like he fills that weight class out, and he was at 215 last year. Looks really good.
Yep. All right, and moving on to the big dog of the weekend, Midwinter Mayhem over at the Kovalchuk Center at IUP. Great arena. Without getting too much into the muck, I wish they would do some of the other events there, like the team tournament and such. It's a great arena. But, man, what a fantastic tournament. And, Kaz, like we were just saying, man, you just run down the champs alone. It's quickly becoming maybe not a Powerade, but certainly, a Class B tournament during the season right there.
Yeah, and it's held at one of the best venues in Western Pennsylvania. I know you've been there. I've been there. That place is freaking awesome. Yep. IUP needs a wrestling team because that'd be a hell of a place to have a duel. Throw them in the PSAC. That, like you said, everything you said, I reiterate it. It's turning into a hell of a tournament right in the middle of winter, right? They got the name Midwinter Mayhem. They do a great job running that tournament. They got a shitload of teams and a shitload of good teams. So it sucked I couldn't go this year because I was working at Westmoreland. But I'm going to do everything I can to get back there next year. Did they wrestle on the raised stage?
I did not. I was not there for the final, so I don't know.
That's right.
They did that the last 2 years, I think.
Yeah, they wrestled on the raised stage. It was pretty cool.
I'm sure they might not have this year. I think I saw some videos, and I don't think they were. I think they were flat on the floor.
Well, because they were also wrestling the girls at the same time.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Which is another testament. They had the girls going on. They had JV matches going on. So you have all that going on at the same time as varsity.
And then to wake up the next day and do youth.
That's right. Yes. They had a whole that was like a whole weekend spread, 3-4 day spread, yeah.
Okay. Dip your toes and go all the way in, I guess. But you look at the championship here, Bassett over Chambers. Just impressive stuff. Chambers, Kaz, he's a problem.
So Javion Chambers.
Give me the rundown. He's got to be your area. You know about him. I know you do.
Oh, I coach him in football.
Yeah, baby.
So Javion Chambers, I've never said his name. He goes by Tum Tum. That's his nickname. Tum Tum is one of the greatest kids you will ever meet. One of the greatest kids you ever meet. He plays football for us at Highlands. He's a wrestler, but he loves football, but he doesn't necessarily play because he's so small and he doesn't want to get hurt for wrestling. He comes to every single practice. He practices his ass off. He tries getting in the games on Friday nights and put me on special teams. He does all of our hand signaling on the sideline. He knows the offense better than any one of our coaches. He knows the defense better than any one of our coaches. Does all of our signals in. Tum Tum is one of the greatest kids you will ever meet in your life. I don't have a negative thing to say about the kid, and I have to give him his praise because I love the kid to death, and he lights up any room he's in. Any room he's in, he lights it up. So, Tum Tum, you know you're my man, and I'll see you soon.
Now the real question is, where's Tum Tum ranked on Matty T's rankings?
Unranked now, but will be.
Ooh, there we go. Now we gotta break him down. I mean, after that performance, taking second at that tournament, man, he's got to fly up some rankings.
I'm excited to see him at Allegheny Counties this weekend too.
Right, AB Rehack or no? Rehack was the other side. He lost to Bassett.
He beat Cameron Smith.
Yes.
I mean, shout out Cameron Martinez.
Yeah.
He took out my number 5 guy, Manny Stoltzfus, real early, first round.
That's
in a fall,
impressive.
dominated a match, and then ran it all the way to the quarters.
That's impressive.
I saw that early, like scrolling through those brackets, like, man, this kid went out that early. And I was like, I was on like the semis on Flow Arena or the quarters. I'm like, oh, that seed's missing. I go back. I keep going back. I'm like, oh, shit, it was in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something you not expected, Matt, but is that like something you could have predicted or seen? Like, would have you thought that was an upset that could happen?
Not really, because the whole year it's pretty much been Abenese at 107, and then they've kind of flip-flopped. But I mean, that's kind of been the MO of Stoltzfus, is kind of those matches he should be winning, he's kind of loses. And then, he made a run on the backside, but to lose that early, you have to win a bunch of matches just to get to place. And so, I mean, he put in a great effort on the backside. But I think Email said they have a problem because they have 2 kids that weight, and then depending on where Albanese wants to go, if it's 107, 114, they got a problem in the lightweights.
Yeah, that's true. Didn't even think of that.
Much like we just talked about with Kiski at the upperweights, logjam.
Yeah, it's crazy the depth that some of these teams have, and
then they're like, if we could just switch that kid's ranking to like the other side of the weight, the other side of the weight's like a 1-13 would be a 1. It seems like they don't have one or the other for a lot of these schools.
And it's crazy. You know how many teams would just die to have one of those kids that just can't fill a lineup or
114 or 107. A lot of them don't have, for sure.
Yeah,
Bishop McCourt's got that problem right now.
Yeah.
Especially at what was it,
145?
Yeah,
that was crazy to see. Holy
talk
shit.
about it. Don Morrison wins the championship over Sam Walford. Eli Herring takes 3rd. Mateo Gallegos takes 4th. Easton Mole takes 5th. Emilio Albanese takes 6th. Nick McGarity takes 7th. And Bryce Pignot takes 8th. Piquinot, sorry, takes 8th. Couple of guys that are recognized here is Eli Herring, Sam Herring's little brother. Easton Mole, good tournament. Albanese, like you just mentioned. McGarity, WPIAL boy. I believe he posted that he wasn't satisfied with his finish here, but a kid that, I think he's going to be pretty solid come the end of the year. Russ is really tough. So, yeah, good weight.
I was surprised to see the Gallegos from from Du Bois. What he was in the Powerade finals.
Yeah, kid's been good all year. He's freshman. He blew up at Powerade and he just keeps having great performance after great performance.
Yeah, he's
You know,
kid's special. I thought
Sam
he
Wolford
actually,
is just lights out though. I've been so impressed with him since he kind of started a year off a little rough, and then I forget what tournament they go to, and for the holidays it wasn't Trojan Wars, it was something else down in that area, but he just gets more impressive as the season goes on. He's a guy that's hitting a stride here late in the season, and I think he can carry that in and plays highly.
All right, 121. You want to run this one, Kaz?
Yep, 121. Your champ, Santino Sloboda, the pit commit out of Butler, beats Braden Weaver of Altoona 4-2. Brock Rothamel of Line Mountain beat Tanner Guineau of Bald Eagle 10-3. Elijah Scriven of Hickory beats Rocky Cole of Northeast for 5th and 6th. And then 7th and 8th, Tegan Cauchulo of Amalis defeats Jack Seifles of Bishop McCourt 4-0. Sloboda and Weaver, a matchup we're going to see probably a couple more times this year. 4-2. Sloboda is undefeated on the year. Looks great. Rothamel, the 3rd and 4th place match, it was a very interesting one. I don't know if they met last year.
I don't think they did, but I think this could be a state final matchup.
Yeah, that's what.
Or a state semi.
Yeah, that's a pretty damn good 3rd and 4th place match there. Rothamel's phenomenal. I've seen more of him than Guineau. But the fact that those two are wrestling for 3rd and 4th, that tells you the depth that's at this weight class in this tournament.
You're talking about like Jordan Maniette from Trinity didn't place in this tournament, and he's a guy I'm real high on. I mean, I think, what do I have him ranked? I have him ranked 3rd in the state, and he didn't place in this tournament. So that's how good this field was.
Wow. All right, 127 pounds. Will Datar of Trinity Camp Hill takes home the championship over Dom Deputy. That was a highly anticipated matchup. Dalton Winter takes home 3rd. Colton Wade takes 4th. Aiden Coons takes 5th. Brady Slicker, man, that's a good name, takes home 6th. Aiden Herden takes home 7th, and Carter Adams takes home 8th. Slicker, what a great wrestling name.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
No.
That's almost as good as my boy Luke Hollywood.
I don't think that's the best ever. I don't know. We do got to do the name list one time. That needs to happen one of these years.
Oh, absolutely.
So Datar had the tournament of his life here.
Yeah.
To beat Colton Wade, to beat Dalton Winter, to beat Dominic Deputy. All those guys placed top 4.
That's a hell of a run.
So, I mean, kid had a great tournament, and saw him as a freshman do that down at States. Had that opportunity to do it last year. I think he was a double champ at Fargo 2 years ago. The kid is lights out, but didn't look as great this year. But with the win over Deputy, he just took himself over.
That wasn't as impressive as a run of anyone in this tournament. I mean, that's just insane. To 3 in a row like that, to do that, credit to that kid, man. Holy hell.
And the thing is, for this tournament to have a 1 versus 2 matchup in the finals, and it was tight. I mean, these two are about as tight as you can get. And, man, they're going to hit a couple more times in the postseason, maybe at least one more time in the postseason, depending on what they do with team tournament-wise. But, man, this is going to be a fun match if it gets to Hershey.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely is. I'm trying. Yeah, he's AA. I'm thinking. Yep. I don't know why I was thinking he was AAA. Yeah, he's AA.
Northwestern commit. Northwestern versus NC State.
Jeez, he's a smart kid. Northwestern ain't no joke getting into there. I got into Northwestern.
Twice. Jax Forrest takes on the championship 133 pounds over Aaron Seidel, another one of the highlight matchups. Caden Judas takes home third. Cyrus Hurd takes home fourth. Mark Redman takes home fifth. AJ Snatchko takes home sixth. Aiden Beimel takes home seventh. And Patrick Tarantella takes home eighth. Forrest and Seidel, really, really big matchup. But, man,
1-2 in the country, right?
I don't know how you stop
1-2 in the state at least.
I don't know how you do it. It's just as soon as he touches you, dude, it just feels like he's already behind you. It's so impressive.
I don't think there's anything you can do. I don't. Every time I've never seen anybody not give up a takedown when he goes to a slide by. It's just, and it ain't like he's doing it against a slouch. I mean, he's doing it against Aaron Seidel, who I believe is ranked 2 in the country. Definitely 2 in the state. I want to say
I have him 2 in the state. But he's probably top 5 in the country, definitely.
Yeah. And I mean, that was a dominant. I went back and watched that match just because I wanted to see it because of the names. And 11-4, god damn.
Yeah, he's
impressive. And 11-4 for him looks like a close match.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the crazy thing about it because that semifinal match against Caden Judice, and Judice is no slouch whatsoever, and tech fall him 18-3 in 52 seconds is just insane.
It's going to be interesting to see where that kid goes to college, as well as 2 or 3 of his teammates, because if they're a package deal, some program is going to be spending a lot of NIL money, but also going to have themselves quite the lineup.
It's a good way to put it. But no, I mean, we talked about it, I think, a couple times this year. I feel like they're, at least I can't remember a group of kids all coming out together. It seems like that is anticipated as this in some time. We've had like a Spencer Lee. We've had, well, I guess the Franklin Regional crew that came out a few years ago was pretty damn good. I mean,
that was a loaded freaking team.
Mm-hmm.
There's like 8 D1 kids on that team.
Yeah. So
doesn't this team just feel different though? It's not like the, obviously they can recruit, but you don't feel as bad seeing these kids win because, they're not hiding. Every single week they're at top tier tournaments. They're traveling to Oklahoma to wrestle the top teams in the country in dual meet. So it's not like the Bethlehem Catholic situation when they were in AA where you just hated to see them win every week. It just seems like this is a team that everybody wants to root for.
That's a fantastic point, Matt. No, I agree there. And they definitely do it the right way and go out, score points, and wrestle everywhere, wrestle everyone. So definitely agree there. All right.
139.
I love this
Matt's
one, man.
boy right here.
Yeah.
Matt, you want to read these ones, brother?
Yeah, so Brent Herr gets to win over Sam Herring in the finals. Tight match like he had last year against Mason Gibson at this tournament. Elijah Brosius gets to win over Gideon Braken. Matthew Almadina, who is having a great year this year, gets to win over Colin Catalone from St. Mary's.
Mary?
And Gavin Ciampoli from Altoona gets to win over Dylan O'Brien of Hickory in the 7th, 8th place match.
Hare is, obviously what his brother's doing at Rutgers, but they got to be excited with this crop of kids that Rutgers is getting. I mean, they get Hare, they got Gibson, they got Magro, sorry. I mean, right there, those 4 is just monsters. So, yeah, I'm definitely a big fan of Hare.
Hare has a really good chance to end his career as the all-time wins leader in the state of Pennsylvania.
Absolutely.
He has a really good chance. He's at 130 right now, and he has a whole nother year. What's the wins worth? 20? Is it Kemmerer?
I think it's 199.
199. Is it Kemmerer?
Yeah, it's Kemmerer.
I mean, he has 45 as a freshman. He's freaking 54-0 last year. He's getting another 20 to 25 this year. Let's say he gets 50 this year. That puts him at 150 total wins.
Just need a 50-piece next year.
He's going to have a really good shot to be the PA all-time wins leader. And him being this close, I hope he gets it.
Oh, yeah. And he will get it if he's that close.
And that's because they wrestle. I mean, their team's usually pretty good, right, Matt? So they run deep into the team tournaments. And then, so you have all those extra matches on top of it.
Running into those team tournaments, that can get you an extra 10 matches.
A year, right?
Yeah. I mean, think about
Sitting
it.
at 130 wins right now.
Yeah. Think of you and your district. Like if you place third in the state as a team, you're wrestling 3 or 4 matches in your district tournament. Then if you take third or fourth in the state tournament, you're probably winning. If you take third, you're probably going to win 5 matches in the state tournament. So there's 8 extra matches a year. So say 32 extra matches for your career compared to somebody whose team isn't. That's huge.
Yep. Makes sense. Yeah, he's a dog. There's no doubt. And just wrestles well beyond his years.
And it ain't like he's wrestling on the backside of brackets either, where he's getting more chances to win matches. He's running through shit. He's 130-2. He hasn't lost since he was.
And he's going through like top dudes in the country. He's not running through like slouches. I mean,
no. Look at the tournaments he's at.
Yeah. You have to think of his 2 losses he has on his career. Both came as a freshman. One came to Tahir Parkins early on in the season. Top hat probably. I'm thinking, and then in the state finals, Gage Patero. So it's like the losses he has as a freshman aren't slouches, and they're still wrestling right now.
Right. That kid's something special, man.
All right. 145 was wild, dude.
Yeah, holy shit. Jackson Butler. God damn, bro.
So Bo Bassett takes home the championship over his teammate Jackson Butler. Case Chop takes home 3rd. Clay Kimmel takes home 4th. Joseph Garshnick takes home 5th. Dalton Perry takes home 6th. Nolan Savage takes home 7th. And Dane Winter takes home 8th. Bo Bassett does Bo Bassett things. I will say, interesting early on, I did see the PA Power post a video where Bo Bassett got taken down and the arena went nuts. But you always love to see that, Bassett's kind of at that level where, anything bad that happens against him, it's just crazy. But either way, Jackson,
who did it.
Yeah. And, just Butler to get to the finals. Holy shit, impressive stuff.
Yeah, teammates wrestling in the finals at that tournament. Like I can see it at some other tournaments. Like I've seen it at the Westmoreland County tournament and some other places before. But at this tournament, damn, dude, this is where 13 weight classes hurts Bishop McCourt.
Yeah,
compared to the 14, because Butler isn't in the lineup as a starter and clearly is a starter. And the McMullen kid ain't in the lineup either. I don't know if he's injured or whatnot, but that's crazy. 13 weight classes hurts teams. It helps a lot, but it also hurts your top teams, AA and AAA in the state, because a lot of those good teams have 14 guys who can go out and win you matches.
So that quarterfinal match, that 4-2 win for Case Chop over Nolan Savage, that is a huge win for Case Chop. Bigger than I think a lot of people expect.
Where do you have those 2 ranked, Matt?
I have Savage as 12, but he's a freshman, so I kind of start him at the bottom and I'm working him up. But I mean, he's a guy that I can see at the end of the year being top 8. Okay. Definitely. Case Chop, I have him at 11. So for Chop to get that win, comparable opponent, I think.
Yeah,
I think that's good for him. But you can't say much more for Jackson Butler to beat Dalton Perry. It's almost turns into a situation where if he's beaten Dalton Perry in the regular season, no matter if it went to overtime or not, which this one did, you have to find a spot for him. You have to find a spot for him against Faith Christian when that duel hits, and you have to find a spot for him in the individual postseason.
That's going to be gnarly when that duel happens.
Crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. And Chop,
because he went in the seminary duel and beat Matthew Dimon, who placed very highly at. I think he placed highly. I mean, he's a stud. either way, but
Right.
he did pretty good at Powerade. So,
And Chop beat Dalton Perry last year in this tournament.
Yes.
Because I think we had him on
We did.
the week after. Because he wrestled Islamov in the Southmoreland finals, which was a wild freaking match. And then the next week he goes, or 2 weeks later, he went and beat
It's like his
Dalton
breakout
Yeah.
party this year, last
Yes.
year. Yeah, and he's really good, dude. Like he's he's another one of those kids for Butler that Coach Stoner's super excited about, and kid that loves wrestling. And I think he talked about it on the bus, like, oh, sucks for you, dude. You got to wrestle Dalton Perry. And he was like, you're going to get majored. He was like, there's no way that dude's going to major me. And then he goes out and gets a dub. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, when he said that in the interview, that was good.
Yeah,
that was
great.
good.
All right, where are we at? 152?
Yeah, 52.
Go ahead, Kaz.
Devin Magro of Bishop McCourt beats Michael Turry of West Scranton 6-1 in the finals. Gavin Carroll of Quakertown over Parker Pisarczyk of Brockway 5-2. Darius McMillan of Peters Township beat Griffin Reed of North Allegheny 4-1. And then Emery Gunby of Bishop McCourt injury default over Rocco Allegretto of Johnsonburg. 24 seconds into the match. So another McCourt non-scoring wrestler placing here in Emery Gunby. But yeah, Magro over Turry in the finals here, making it that's going to be 3 in a row for Bishop McDevitt as we get to the next weight.
Yeah, no, and the thing I love about Magro, did you guys see his shiner he has on his eye that he got?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I saw
he
the
got that at the
Powerade.
seminary duel.
Dude, he had it at Powerade, and that thing, it was like he had a wrap on it, like for a couple matches.
It was like almost close shot,
dude. And then I swear he just said F it and just wrestled it literally. And he looked like I was texting some people. I'm like, he looked like Rocky Balboa too, dude. Rocky.
He was banged up. His face was mangled at Powerade.
He was crushed. And credit to him, he still finished really high at Powerade. And you know how, you better be ready for a war when you go to that tournament. And then just can't get healed. He still got it a little bit. But yeah, I saw him as we were leaving. I'm like, man, that thing is still gnarly. But yeah, he's a stud. And, like we just talked about his future teammate, Hare, that program at Rutgers, something cooking.
Yes.
This is I had 1-versus-1 in the state, and Magro handled Turry pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Which Turry's no slouch. Cornell commit, so kid smart can wrestle.
Yeah.
Not a bad combo.
We're at now 60.
Yep.
3 in a row from McCourt. Melvin Miller 9-6 over Luke Sipes of Altoona. Third place, Braden White of TJ. He was like the 15 seed. I think lost early and then rattled like 7.
Dude, he's really good. I watched him wrestle
8 straight wins off. Yeah, impressive. Beat Samuel Almedina of Mid Valley 4-1. Hudson Spires of General McLean beat Jesse Scott of Amawis for 5th and 6th. And then Jaden Whaler, St. Mary's tech fall over Jorge Moya of Parkland 18-1 for 7th and 8th. Again, the McCourt kids doing what they do here. A nice win over Sipes 9-6. I didn't go back and get to watch that match. I wanted to, just seeing the score, because I know Sipes is the real deal here.
Sipes is legit.
Yeah, Sipes is real deal.
Great tournament for Samuel Almedina. Freshman, ranked 6th in the state. Had a great run, placed 4th in the tournament with some of the names that they had. Obviously, you ran into Melvin Miller, who, like all the Bishop McCourt kids, are buzzsaws, but came back, placed 4th. So, great tournament for him.
Seeing a freshman at those upper weights like that at a tournament like that makes it
his
even more impressive to me.
His brother we just talked about, I think, was at 133, 139. He floats in that area, and then for him to be up at 160, that kind of, before the season started, I saw that, and I was like, oh, all right.
For me, I got to give some love to Braden White. Like I said, I watched him wrestle a few times out there at the tournament, and you know, I don't even know if it's sneaky anymore. TJ's good, dude. TJ's really good.
Yeah.
They got a good team. They got really high-end guys, obviously, in Maddox Shaw, Bodie Marlowe, Shep Turk. But their next level of guys is really, really good too. So I'm really interested to see what they do at the team tournament guy and time. And Mr. White here, I believe he's a wide receiver on the football field, Kaz, right?
Yeah, he's committed to South Dakota, I believe, playing football out there.
He's big and he's athletic as hell, and I just love to watch him wrestle, man. And more and more, I just find that coming one of the, how I always kind of find one of those squads. TJ might be my squad this year.
They're from 152 up. They're freaking good, man.
They got a lightweight. Rehack's pretty good too, right?
Yeah, Rehack down low, but then when you go Maddox Shaw, Braden White, Bodie Marlowe, and Zach LeBrier 4 in a row,
yep,
and then throw in the big boy at heavyweight, shit, they're a tough out. Yeah. They're a tough out for anyone.
Yeah, if Maddox Shaw comes back, do they find a spot for Braden White?
Yeah, Shaw will be at 52.
So does he go down or up?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
Because I think if you have Shaw sitting for this long and not wrestling, obviously he's going to weigh in a little heavier.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
His name's entered at 152 for the Allegheny counties.
All right.
So we'll see tomorrow. I hope to see him on the mat. Hope to see him on the mat.
I agree.
Bodie Marlowe, major decision. Brian Hurd of Abington Heights, 26-17. Playing a football game. Holy hell! Me and Matt were talking off air. The box score of that match on Flow, Marlowe was down 11-1 in that match. Down 11-1 and then wins 26-17. He had like 7 straight takedowns to end the match. Like absolutely bonkers. I went back and watched it. It was nuts. Absolutely nuts.
I can only imagine the scoreboard operators there were just having fits the whole time.
It was every second. It was every second.
Trying to figure out, okay, who scored, who's this, who's that.
Go back and watch that.
Yeah, I'm going to go back and watch it. That's one of the more high-scoring matches I've ever seen.
43 points?
Especially at like a high-level tournament like that. You don't see a high-level tournament, the championship, be that crazy.
No.
That's
Now look, Brian Hurd's really good too.
Yeah.
I mean, he goes to tough tournaments and places very high, top 3 in most of them. So, like, Bodie Marlowe did not beat a slouch here, 26-17.
No.
Go back and watch. It was insane. 43 points. Shit, that might be the most I've seen in the match. I'm trying to think of anything that stands out, but
I can't think of anything.
Credit to Marlowe, man. Down 11-1, and then you put 26 up. Holy hell.
Talk about not giving up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gas tank.
I saw his dad tweet something about his dad was all fired up. He was
his dad
up with that.
Dad had to have been juiced up.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, 189 pounds. Caleb Close takes home the championship over Denari Mickle. Easton Belfour takes home 3rd over Zach LeBrier. Carter Wilson takes home 5th over Bryce Bungard. And Coy Bryson takes home 7th over Dylan Clare. Matt, what did you see about this weight, buddy?
Caleb Close, just top notch. It's a guy we've expected to be top notch. Wrestled very well last year at the state tournament. The semifinal with Denari Mickle and Easton Belfour I thought was very interesting. 2 in the same area, 1 AA, 1 AAA. So, you like to see those matchups, especially if they're in the same area. Mickle kind of ekes that one out. I think if they wrestle again, Belfour could probably get the win. But for LeBrier to beat Bryson in that quarterfinal, I think that's a huge win for him.
Yeah, I agree. And LeBrier is one of the guys that, we just talked about. TJ, man, just, bring in the guys. And I just love the way he wrestles. Gas tank, tough, hard-nosed kid, wrestles all 3 positions. And, TJ, they got very loaded at the upper weights.
Yes, they are.
All right.
We're at 215. Kendall Hoare of DuBois tech fall over Teague Calvin of Greenville, 19-3. Colton Griffin of Brookville decision over Josh Ryan of Mount Union, 12-8. Logan Lattimore, Northeast, beats Zane Hagens 11-4 out of Somerset. And Mason Hartung of North Allegheny, major decision over Jacob Schwalm of Line Mountain. Line Mountain, I know, out your way there, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
But the finals, Hoare and Calvin, I know we talked about Calvin a little bit earlier. That was Carlson's only loss, I think. We were talking, Donnie. I'm not saying that surprised me, but I know how good Calvin is. I'm not as familiar with Kendall Hoare, but I am with Calvin. But just to see that score, that's impressive there. From a WPIAL standpoint, nothing here other than Hartung taking 7th.
Yeah, and for the weights that were brought out here, for the schools that came out here, not too much there as far as star power at 215. But
So
go ahead.
So Kendall Hoare, he's a freshman, and he showed out at Powerade, and that really popped out to me. So to see these results doesn't really surprise me. He beat Josh Ryan, who I have 4 in the state in the AA by fall, and then he beat number 3 in the state, T. Calvin, in AA by tech fall. This kid has a real shot. I think 215 in AAA is not as deep as I think it has been in the past. You have really good wrestlers at the top, don't get me wrong, especially the WPIAL's loaded 215. But I think with those guys banging each other up all year, and DuBois, I think, is going to be in the West Regional. Not 100% on that, but
yeah,
pretty sure they will be.
Yeah, they
so
are.
It's going to be interesting to see where he places with all the WPIAL guys there.
I'm just looking at this Kendall Hoare's PA thing. Beat Gavin Hanna of Brookville this year. He beat Colton Griffin of Brookville, both really good. Beat Roan Tustin of Wayne. I mean, his only losses are to Lucas Lawler, Cooper Roskowski, and an 8-6 to Myron Mendez of Southwest Miami. Josh Ryan, T. Calvin. That kid's legit. As a freshman at 215?
Yeah. What was the Cooper Roskowski loss?
That was it.
I think that was close.
That was at Powerade. That final score was, let me scroll down. Power's 12-28. Roskowski was 10-2. Beat Tustin 12-5.
Yeah, really good win.
Lawler, yeah. So I mean, he wrestled a meat grinder schedule too. I mean, it's not like he wrestled Powerade, wrestled Midwinter Mayhem, a couple Brookville kids who were both really good. Kid's legit. Wow.
He's a name to watch when it comes to regionals, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's going to be one of those guys that he could go to that region and place 3rd or 4th and get into the state tournament bracket and just start upsetting a lot of guys, which is not really an upset. It's just where they put them.
Right. That's going to be interesting because that weight class is loaded in AAA from the WPIAL.
Mm-hmm. Heavyweight's pretty good in the WPIAL too, buddy, and we see 3 of them place here. Rowan Holmes from Somerset takes home the championship over Shepard Turk from TJ. Gavin Hanna from Brookville takes 3rd. Braden McConaughey from NA takes 4th. John Duran from Fort LaBeouf takes 5th. Cam Dana from West Allegheny takes 6th. Kyle Drana, I'm not sure where that Crawford maybe, takes home 7th. And Gunnar Hiller from Cedar Cliff takes home 8th. 3 guys from the WPIAL place here, and all 3 guys I expect to, if not make the state tournament, be right there at the end of the year, Kaz.
Yep, I agree. Fully expect to see Turk, McConaughey, and Dana in there. That, like you said, the depth at heavyweight in the WPIAL. I mean, there's 3 of them we named, and there's a handful more that are right in that mix as well. You know, you have Gibson, Gallus, Lloyd,
Rodriguez, we just talked about.
Rodriguez, Ekis. Like there's some dudes there, some good guys, some good dudes. So that's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. It's nice to see them get 3 guys on the podium at that weight here.
Drana, he's a Crestwood kid, committed to Bloomsburg, so
nice.
Bloomsburg's going to get a good heavyweight there. Rowan Holmes, I'm assuming, I didn't go back and watch this, but I'm assuming, looking at the box score, that he just caught Shepherd Turk.
Definitely.
It looks like Turk was probably handling that match pretty well, and he just caught him. But still, Rowan Holmes isn't a slouch, so if you're catching a guy like Shepherd Turk, you're doing good things.
And Turk's a lot bigger than Holmes. Holmes is kind of like a smaller dude, right, Kaz?
Yeah, he wrestled 215 last year. And Turk, my guess is Turk has to cut to make 285.
I was going to say he's probably 280, right? At least.
Yeah, he definitely has to. I mean, my guess is Turk played football at 310, 315. I mean, he's going to Pitt. He's an absolute stud offensive lineman. I don't know. 310, 315 might be big, but I bet you he's right around 3 when he plays football.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just a massive human being. What is he, 6'4"?
Reminds me a lot of who was the Penn Trafford boy that came out a couple years ago?
Enoch.
Yes.
Big Joe.
Yes. Legend. Yeah, big old greasy mullet, Hunter, just classic.
Got the coyote tattoo on his bicep.
That's right. In high school. Incredible.
Yeah. McKillop had fun with him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So
I remember some of his stories, yeah.
Oh, phenomenal. Just to recap the team standings, Bishop McCourt took first with 299 points, which is insane. TJ took second with 151.5. Central Mountain took third, 119.5. North Allegheny 111, and then Amalis 107.5 took fifth.
Dude, it's crazy how much they win by. Like at a tournament like this, I mean,
they doubled up second place.
Yes, it was just really wrestling for second place, and kudos to TJ. We've talked about them a couple times, but
think if they scored all their wrestlers. I mean,
right? They don't score like a Butler, right? He doesn't count.
Butler didn't count. Gumby at what is 72 or 52. Like they don't get team points, or else they probably would have had close to like 330-ish, maybe.
Yeah.
Probably a little bit more.
That Faith Christian match is going to be must watch.
Yeah,
television, streaming, whatever you want to call it.
That's going to be interesting to watch, and it sucks. It's going to be in Altoonah's high school gym and not the Hershey Giant Center.
Dude, it doesn't just suck. It's bullshit.
Ridiculous.
It doesn't just suck. It's bullshit, dude. And it's no other way to say it. Like, it's disrespectful to the coaches. It's disrespectful to the kids. All respect due to Altoona and Altoona School District. I know that they run a fine tournament. They've had regionals there in the past and such. But there's no reason. And Kaz, you've talked about it a bunch on Twitter, and I pretty much echoing you on this rant. With all the arenas that are in Pennsylvania, there's no reason we can't pick one to have a tournament in. Like we just talked about the IUP Center, whatever. Just pick one. Go ahead, Kaz. I'll let you go.
I just think it's childish and stupid on every level.
Yeah.
Again, nothing against Altoona High School. It's a great venue. It's the best state in the world, and you're having the team state championships in a high school. Give me a break.
And possibly what? I mean, these two teams are top 5 teams in the country.
Faith Christian's ranked 1 in the country, and I think McCourt's ranked 2nd or 3rd. And you're going to have them wrestle at a high school? Give me a break.
You won't even be able to fit enough people in that gym. It's going to be packed.
No. They're not fitting that in. All the teams and their family ain't fitting in there. Not a chance.
See, I talked to the Benton coaches a couple years ago because that's when they were consistently going to the state tournament, the team state tournament, and they weren't great individually, but they were great as a team. They were able to put up a good lineup, and I remember those coaches just telling me, like, think of how many kids on our team are actually going to have a shot to see the 4-mat setup in the middle of the Giant Center and actually compete on those mats. And it wasn't about, for a lot of the coaches, it wasn't about going there trying to win a state title, because you already knew who were the best teams, but it was about giving those kids that experience that maybe pushes them and drives them in the postseason, individual postseason, to get to that point. And I just think putting it at the high school, you just kind of he delegitimize the tournament a little bit. And no disrespect to Altoona and what they've done, because they put on some great tournaments. I know they had the Southwest 2A regional there last year, and they put on a great tournament, but it's not a state caliber facility. I just don't think so, especially with the sport, the best sport in the country that we have as a state, to put it in a high school arena. Connecticut does that, not us.
I completely agree. And it's a shame because and it sounds like Badger and Altoona. It has nothing to do with them, because Altoona is probably one of the best gyms in the state.
Oh yeah,
but that's not the point. I don't understand it. I don't think I ever will. I don't know all the details, but
I don't think I've seen one person be in favor of this. Not one.
Absolutely not.
Not one wrestling person is in favor of it, and it's frustrating, man, because like Matt, you've said, and we're all kind of circling the wagon saying the same thing, but ultimately I kind of take it as disrespect. That's kind of how I take it. And to the best wrestling sport, or to the best sport that you have, just stuff them in a high school gym. They'll be all right. That's kind of how I felt about it.
I wouldn't have minded if they changed the schedule like they did and have it a Friday, Saturday thing at the Giant Center instead of the Thursday, because for a lot of people, it's hard to get out for Thursday.
I don't mind the actual format of it. I don't mind it. I'm not going to say I like it better than the old format, but I have no problem with the format. I think it's kind of cool.
Look, some of these kids are having their senior day in the first week of January, so for them to have the opportunity to possibly get another home match,
absolutely,
that's huge.
Mm-hmm. And I'll be anxious to see what they do in the future. I just don't understand it as far as, okay, whatever the issue was with the Giant Center and the PIAA having the teams there, but they're still having the individuals there. So what's the issue if you can have one and not the other? Do
you think that's a ticking time bomb of having the issues there, or the individuals there too?
I hope not, because if they have an individual tournament at a high school, you just can't.
I don't think they'd ever do that. I think you could never fill a Giant Center. I've went to many team state championships, and there obviously isn't the buzz from the individual fan,
right?
Unless you had the team attachment, there wasn't that. You had to really love the sport to go to it, is what I'm saying. So I get the move for the team wise, but I hate it. I don't think that this move should have been made. I didn't see the issue with it having it at the Giant Center. It's obviously going to cost less for the PIAA to put it on in Altoona.
Right.
They're not going to have to pay the weekend to keep the lights on at the Giant Center. And who knows, it could be a scheduling issue with the Hershey Bears or something. I don't know the little details that went into it, but definitely shouldn't have made the move. Not in favor of it. And man, if they just had everything at Penn State,
Center from the beginning of the tournament existence.
Yeah, because I think it started 2000 or 2001.
Right, it's not like it's been since the 70s and 80s and stuff. Right?
And it's always been in Hershey, so this is going to be the first move for it to be out of Hershey.
If for some reason they would, and I pray it never gets to that point where the individual tournament isn't there, there would be venues across the state begging you, we'll host it. Peterson Event Center, Wells Fargo Center, any type of, and there's plenty of other casino, there's a Mohegan Sun, I think, in Wilkes-Barre.
Up in Wilkes-Barre, they would love to have it. They're probably down in the Philly area. Penn State, I know they would love to have this, just recruiting wise. Would love to have it either at the Bryce Jordan Center or at Rec Hall.
Yep.
There's plenty, there would be venue after venue begging, hey, we'll host it. Come on. But Hershey's the perfect spot for it.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Imagine, and I know they can't do it anymore. Can't put just the one mat out there because they and I like the way they do the finals now with 2A, 3A, and girls going at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But imagine one finals match in Rec Hall.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
That'd be great.
Because a lot of students would go. Like, those Penn State students are like they follow wrestling just because of the caliber of their college team. You'd get a bunch of students that would come out and watch that as well. You get, and obviously it's be on a Saturday night. Those students are probably going to be having a good time. Like it would be electric.
Yeah.
I mean, you sold me, Kaz. I'd go and just sit in the crowd and just be in the environment. You know what I mean? That would be literally electric. But that's our bitch. That's our gripe on that. And, take it for however you want. But, I just think we all agree it's unfortunate. So,
yeah.
But a great weekend and a great weekend coming up, Kaz. We're going to talk about Allegheny counties and, all that. And that's always a fantastic week. Or a fantastic tournament out in Fox Chapel. What else? I think there's another tournament going on this weekend too.
Brookville Duels.
Yes, that's it. Brookville Ultimate Duels.
And they have Clearfield Bison Duels, and there's one other. I forget what it was.
Yeah, the Ultimate Duels is the other one I was thinking about. Thank you, Matt.
Escape the Rocks this weekend. Can't believe I forgot it, but Escape the Rocks this weekend.
That's right.
Gnarly tournament. I think I took that off the list because I think only Norwin is going there for West or for.
It's really turned into kind of a private school tournament,
right?
Still,
yeah, that's what I've heard. It's like almost on the same level as Powerade.
Yeah,
it's crazy. But, all right, well, I believe that's it. That's all we got. Thank you guys so much for listening. We're almost at the 2-hour mark. Matty T, thank you for coming on and hanging out with us, brother.
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
Again, catch Matty T. Matt, give your social handles and where to find you.
It's right now. It's in PA Wrestling, Inside PA Wrestling on Twitter, and it's InsidePAWrestling.com.
Love that. And of
That's
course,
it for right now.
Of course, Mark Kazanowicz is at WPIAL Wrestle 7, and I'm at Falls with D Hall on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. And that is all the time we have for you guys for this edition of Near Falls in the WPIAL. For Matt, for Mark, and for D Hall, appreciate you guys.